All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something pretty cool.
Yeah.
The 2024 Husqvarna Svartpilen 401.
Hey.
Thinking about maybe making this your next ride.
I could see it.
Yeah, we got you covered.
Definitely.
We found this in-depth article from Biker Motor Rider.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks down everything you need to know about this motorcycle, from the specs to the features to what actual owners are saying about it.
Cool.
And we've got our expert here who is going to be helping us unpack it all and add some serious context.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too, me too.
This is like a cool bike.
Now, I don't want to spoil too much, but like 70 miles per gallon.
What?
That caught my eye right away.
Yeah, no kidding.
Plus, this bike isn't just about practicality.
Okay.
Like, it's got some seriously cool tech packed in.
Oh, nice.
But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, what's the story behind this Svartpilen name?
Oh, yeah.
It sounds pretty intriguing.
It definitely sets the tone.
Okay.
Svartpilen is Swedish for black arrow. And I think that really captures the essence of this bike.
Mm-hmm.
It's got this minimalist, sleek design that's both modern, but also kind of rebellious, you know?
So not your typical cruiser.
Right.
Yeah, the article mentioned this blend of like retro and modern elements.
Yeah.
Help me picture this. What stands out visually?
Right, so imagine this.
Right.
A classic trellis frame.
Okay.
Kind of like those old school cafe racers, you know?
Yeah.
But then on top of that, you've got these modern touches like LED lighting
Mm-hmm.
and a digital dash that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Nice.
And the overall aesthetic,
Okay.
matte black finish,
Mhm.
rugged tires, spoke wheels.
Okay.
It's all about that understated cool factor.
Okay. I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about making a statement.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. But let's get into the heart of it. Like, how does this Black Arrow actually perform on the road?
Yeah.
The article mentions a 373cc single-cylinder engine,
Okay.
43 horsepower, and 37 newton-meters of torque. Put that into perspective for me. Is this a bike that, like, wants to be pushed?
It's definitely got some pep in its step.
Okay.
That 373cc engine delivers like a punchy, responsive ride.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect for navigating city streets.
Okay.
Think quick acceleration off the line and nimble handling so you can weave through traffic.
So it's got that fun factor.
Definitely.
But what about highway riding?
Yeah.
Does it have enough power to keep up?
It's not going to blow you away with raw horsepower,
Okay.
but it's definitely capable of holding its own on the highway.
Okay.
Think of it this way. It's got enough power to get you where you need to go comfortably,
Mm-hmm.
but its real strength is in that agile urban environment.
Gotcha. So it's more of a city bike than a highway bike.
You could say that, yeah.
Okay, now I have to ask about this 6-speed transmission with the assist and slipper clutch.
Oh, yeah.
The article highlighted that, but like, what does it actually mean for the rider?
Yeah.
Break it down for me.
This is where things get interesting, especially if you're looking for a sportier feel.
Mhm.
So the assist function makes the clutch lever lighter,
Okay.
so your hand won't get tired, you know, in stop-and-go traffic.
Mhm.
And the slipper clutch.
Yeah.
That's the real gem.
Okay.
It prevents the rear wheel from locking up or hopping when you downshift aggressively.
Oh, so even if I'm a little rough with the gears, it'll smooth things out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It gives you that extra bit of confidence knowing you've got that technology backing you up.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it makes the overall riding experience smoother and more enjoyable.
Smooth and enjoyable.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that.
Right.
Speaking of enjoyable, let's talk about the tech and safety features.
Yeah.
This bike comes with a full-color TFT display
Nice.
and smartphone connectivity.
Okay.
That sounds pretty high-tech for a bike in this category.
It is.
Yeah. What are the real-world benefits of having all that connected tech?
Think of it as having like a co-pilot for your ride.
Okay.
Once you pair your phone, that TFT display becomes like your command center.
Mm-hmm.
You get turn-by-turn navigation displayed right there on the dash. No more fumbling with your phone or trying to like hear directions over the engine.
That's a huge plus,
Mhm.
especially in unfamiliar territory.
Yeah.
But what else can it do?
It keeps you connected without being distracting.
Yeah.
You'll get call notifications so you know who's calling without taking your hands off the handlebars.
Nice.
And if you're someone who likes to ride with music, you can control your playlist right from the display.
Okay, now I'm really impressed. It sounds like they've thought of everything to make the riding experience both fun and convenient.
For sure.
But what about safety?
Yeah.
The article mentioned dual-channel ABS and switchable traction control.
Mm-hmm.
Can you break that down for me?
Safety is paramount, especially on a bike with this much personality.
Right.
So the dual-channel ABS means you've got anti-lock brakes on both the front and rear wheels,
Okay.
preventing them from locking up during hard braking.
So even if I have to slam on the brakes, I'm less likely to skid out of control?
Precisely.
Okay.
It helps you maintain stability and steer clear of obstacles.
Yeah.
And then there's the switchable traction control.
Mm.
This prevents the rear wheel from spinning out, especially when you're accelerating on loose surfaces or in wet conditions.
Okay, that makes sense. But why is it switchable?
It gives you options.
Okay.
If you're riding in ideal conditions and you want to feel that raw power delivery, you can switch it off.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're riding in less than ideal conditions or you just want that extra safety net, you can switch it back on.
Okay.
It's all about giving the rider control.
Yeah. So you have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You can be safe when you need to be safe.
Right.
And then when you feel comfortable, you can have more fun.
Exactly.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome back to the deep dive.
All right.
We're digging deeper into the 2024 Husqvarna Svartpilen 401.
Okay.
We've talked design, tech, safety, but what's it actually like to ride this thing?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
I'm picturing myself zipping through traffic, feeling that wind in my hair.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk about handling first. The article mentioned it's agile and nimble, especially for city riding.
Yeah.
What makes it so maneuverable?
It's all about that lightweight trellis frame.
Okay.
It keeps the overall weight down,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it super easy to flick through traffic and change direction quickly.
Uh-huh.
And you can't forget the suspension.
Oh, yeah.
It's got WP Apex forks up front
Okay.
and a WP Apex shock in the rear, both known for their responsiveness and sporty feel.
So it's not just light, it's actually built to handle those quick maneuvers.
Right.
I'm guessing those wide handlebars we talked about earlier play a role too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
They give you excellent leverage, making it feel almost effortless to lean into turns and weave through tight spaces.
Mhm.
It's all about that feeling of being connected to the bike and the road.
All right, so we've established it's fun and easy to handle.
Yeah.
But what about comfort?
Okay.
We know it's designed for an upright riding position,
Right.
which is great for short trips.
Mhm.
But can you take it on longer rides without feeling cramped or fatigued?
That's where things get a bit more nuanced.
Okay.
The article mentions a slim fuel tank and a well-padded seat, which are both good signs for comfort.
Yeah.
And the 31.9-inch seat height should accommodate a variety of riders,
Okay.
but it also points out the limited wind protection.
Ah, yes. That's
Yeah.
something to consider.
Yeah.
So maybe not ideal for long-distance touring,
Right.
but probably great for weekend rides and exploring those back roads.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's all about choosing the right bike for the type of riding you plan to do.
Right.
And speaking of choices, how does the Svartpilen 401 stack up against its rivals in terms of the overall riding experience?
Oh, yeah.
We briefly mentioned the KTM 390 Duke and the Honda CB300R.
Mhm.
What are the key differences there?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I know they're all in a similar category,
Yeah,
but they each have their own personality, right?
definitely.
If you had to pick one defining characteristic for each bike, what would it be?
Ooh, that's tough. For the KTM 390 Duke, it's all about that raw, aggressive performance.
Okay.
It's got a slightly stiffer suspension
Mm-hmm.
and a more forward-leaning riding position, almost like a mini sport bike.
So a bit more of a thrill ride than the Svartpilen.
Exactly.
Oh.
It's a ton of fun, but maybe not as comfortable for casual cruising or longer rides.
Gotcha. And what about the Honda CB300R?
Okay, so the CB300R,
Yeah.
it's all about smoothness and refinement.
Okay.
It's incredibly user-friendly with a forgiving engine and a very relaxed upright riding position.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great option for beginners or anyone who just prioritizes a smooth, comfortable experience.
So it's almost like the Goldilocks situation, right? You got the sporty Duke,
Mm-hmm.
the refined CB300R,
Yeah,
and then the Svartpilen, which seems to land somewhere in the middle.
right.
Stylish, capable, and comfortable enough for a variety of riding styles.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be the fastest or the most luxurious. It's carving its own path with a unique blend of style and substance.
And let's not forget about those impressive fuel economy numbers.
Oh, yeah.
70 miles per gallon is nothing to sneeze at these days,
No kidding.
especially if you're using it for commuting or just want to save some money at the pump.
For sure.
All right, so far so good.
Yeah.
But I'm always a little wary of things that seem too good to be true.
Right.
Are there any downsides to the Svartpilen 401 that we haven't touched on yet?
It's always good to be skeptical.
Yeah.
While the article doesn't highlight any major red flags,
Okay.
there are a few things to keep in mind.
Okay. Like what?
Some riders might find the seat a bit firm for longer rides.
Okay.
And as we've discussed, that lack of wind protection can become a factor on the open road or at higher speeds.
Okay, those are valid points.
Yeah.
It reinforces the idea that no bike is perfect for everyone.
Right.
It's all about knowing your priorities and choosing the bike that best fits your riding style and needs.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about what actual owners are saying.
Okay.
The article mentioned positive reviews, particularly when it comes to handling and how well it performs in an urban environment.
Yeah.
What else can we glean from those real-world experiences?
The overall consensus seems to be that it's a reliable and enjoyable bike to own.
Okay.
Owners appreciate the simplicity of the engine design, which translates to less maintenance and fewer headaches down the road.
That's always reassuring to hear. Nobody wants a bike that spends more time in the shop than on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely a plus, but it's also worth remembering that user feedback is subjective.
Right.
What works for one rider might not work for another.
That's true. So it's always best to do your research, read reviews from a variety of sources, and if possible, take a test ride before making a decision.
Absolutely. There's no substitute for firsthand experience.
For sure.
What stands out to you so far?
Oh,
What's grabbing your attention about the Svartpilen 401?
honestly, it's that blend of style and substance that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
It looks cool, it seems like it performs well, and the tech features are a major bonus.
Definitely.
But I'm also drawn to that feedback about reliability and ease of maintenance.
Right.
It sounds like a bike that's built to last.
It definitely ticks a lot of boxes,
Yeah.
but we're not done yet. There's still more to explore.
Okay.
In part 3, we'll dive deeper into those tech features, analyze the safety aspects in more detail, and see how the Svartpilen's value proposition stacks up against its rivals.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive on the 2024 Husqvarna Svartpilen 401.
Awesome.
We've covered a lot of ground design performance, real-world feedback, but we saved some of the coolest stuff for last.
Okay.
Let's talk tech.
All right.
This bike, it's not just about looking good, right?
It's not. It's got brains to match its beauty.
Exactly, and I'm especially intrigued by that full-color TFT display.
Yeah.
It's not just a fancy speedometer, is it?
Oh, it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
You get all the essential info, speed, RPM, fuel level, but it's the way it integrates with your smartphone that really takes it to the next level.
Okay, all ears. Walk me through it.
Okay, so imagine this. You're navigating a new city.
Great.
Instead of fumbling with your phone or those clunky handlebar mounts,
Yeah.
you've got turn-by-turn directions displayed right there on your dash.
That sounds incredibly convenient and safe.
Right.
No more taking your eyes off the road.
Exactly. It's all about keeping you connected but focused on what matters most, the ride.
Right.
And it doesn't stop there.
Cool.
Call notifications pop up discreetly,
Mm-hmm.
so you can see who's calling without taking your hands off the bars.
Nice.
And for those who like to ride with a soundtrack, you can even control your music from the display.
It's like having a mini command center right there on your bike.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears and talk safety.
Okay.
Dual-channel ABS and switchable traction control.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty serious features, especially for a bike in this class.
Absolutely. They're not just bells and whistles. They're there to keep you rubber side down even when things get a little tricky.
Okay.
So let's start with ABS, anti-lock braking system.
Okay.
It's essentially a safety net for hard braking.
Okay, so if I have to brake suddenly, what happens?
The ABS kicks in to prevent the wheels from locking up,
Okay.
which means you maintain control and can steer to avoid obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a huge difference, especially on slippery surfaces or in those oh-no moments.
So even if I panic and slam on the brakes, the bike will help me stay upright.
Exactly.
That's reassuring.
And then there's the traction control.
Okay.
This one's all about maintaining grip, especially when you're accelerating on loose surfaces or in wet conditions.
Right.
It prevents the rear wheel from spinning out and helps you stay in control.
I've heard of traction control on cars,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize it was becoming common on motorcycles.
It's becoming more and more prevalent, and for good reason.
Yeah.
It adds a significant layer of safety, especially for less experienced riders.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's switchable on the Svartpilen means you can turn it off if you want a more raw, unfiltered riding experience.
Okay, that makes sense. It gives you the best of both worlds.
Right.
Safety when you need it, and the freedom to push the limits when you want to.
Exactly.
It seems like Husqvarna really put a lot of thought into balancing fun and safety with this bike.
They did. It's not just about performance on paper.
Right.
It's about creating a riding experience that's both exhilarating and secure.
Now let's talk value.
Okay.
We know that Svartpilen 401 comes in around $5,800.
Mm-hmm.
how does that price compare to its rivals, especially considering all these tech and safety features?
It's definitely competitive.
Yeah.
Remember the KTM 390 Duke and the Honda CB300R we talked about?
Yeah.
The Duke comes in a bit cheaper,
Okay.
but it doesn't have the same level of tech or refinement. The CB300R is even more budget-friendly,
Right.
but it lacks some of the performance and features that make the Svartpilen stand out.
So it's not the cheapest option, but it seems like you're getting a lot for your money.
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot. If you're on a tight budget, there are other options out there.
Right.
But if you want that blend of style, performance, and technology, and that extra peace of mind from the safety features, the Svartpilen starts to look pretty appealing.
Well, folks, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the 2024 Husqvarna Svartpilen 401.
It has.
We've explored everything from its unique design and impressive specs to its real-world performance and user feedback.
Yeah, it's a cool bike.
So what's the final verdict? Is the Svartpilen 401 worth adding to your garage?
If you're looking for a bike that's stylish, fun to ride, and packed with technology, I'd say it's definitely worth a closer look.
Yeah.
It's a bike that's sure to turn heads and put a smile on your face every time you twist the throttle.
And that's a wrap on another episode of The Deep Dive.
Awesome.
We hope you enjoyed exploring the 2024 Husqvarna Svartpilen 401 with us.
I did.
Remember, the best way to know if a bike is right for you is to experience it firsthand.
Yeah.
So why not head down to your local Husqvarna dealer and take one for a spin?
Great idea.
Until next time, ride safe and keep exploring.
See ya.
Catch you on the next Deep Dive.